In this video, I will show you how to set up the Vanilo cloud tax engine for operations in the European Union. I will mention 4 different approaches to EU VAT. These are the domestic sales, cross-border selling in multiple EU countries using a fixed retail price, cross-border selling where the final price varies based on the VAT rate of the customer's country, and finally, the same as the previous one, but using a net-based price list, which is more typical for pure B2B operations. The first scenario I'm going to talk about is the no-tax scenario. It is happening when you are selling only in your domestic country and there is actually no need for calculating VAT on your side. So in this case, which is basically the default one, you just need to set the tax engine driver to none, which is the default, by the way. And in your Vanilo JSON configuration, you can simply just set tax engine driver to none. Having that, the Vanilo backend is not going to calculate any taxes. So as an example, if you buy this product, there will be no VAT calculated at all, regardless of what country you choose. So there is no VAT calculated. Now, if you want to enable the EU tax engine, then you need to open your shop repository and go to the Vanilo JSON configuration file and go to the taxes, not Texas, like the state in the US, but the taxes section, and change the driver to EU. This is the European Union VAT tax engine. And you also have to add your domestic country, which is the country you're operating as a merchant. So this is basically your company's registration, your home country, in fact. Once you have enabled the EU VAT engine, then the next thing you have to do is to come to the Vanilo admin panel, and you need to, first of all, to have at least one tax category. What are tax categories? These are basically, so in every country, in every European country, products and services fell under multiple VAT types. So for example, typically a t-shirt is kind of the normal VAT category, whereas food and books are usually in a lower VAT range in most countries. Therefore, you need at least one tax category, because when you are selling products or services that fell under multiple categories, then you may want to distinguish them, which product falls under which category. So let's say when you go to the normal category, which I added earlier here, it has a name, which is mostly informational. Your customers won't see it. You can also specify the broader type of the product. This comes handy when you want to do a reverse charge mechanism or OSS. But if you don't have that, even then you can just specify a type, and then you can tell, okay, these are the normal physical goods. Anyway, once you have the tax categories, you also need to assign your product to tax categories. So at the end of the story, your customers will know, the tax engine will have to figure out or have to know what tax category a product is, and based on that, we'll be able to calculate, okay, this kind of product which falls under this category in this country has that VAT rate. So it's very important, once you start calculating VAT for your website, you have to set tax category for every country, every product you're selling. Once you have these, you can come back and specify the tax rates. So tax rate is basically a pairing of tax categories in certain countries. So let's go with the normal product, and we say, okay, this is a normal product, and in Austria, let's say this is 21%, and the calculator is the EU VAT, and then you save it. Oh, I forgot to add the name. Austria 21%. You create this, and now you want to create another one. And let's say we have normal product in Germany is 19%. So you fill it out. The name doesn't necessarily have to be, you can name it whatever you want, but I prefer some informative name like Germany 19%, because then you will know that this specific VAT rate is that percent for that country. So I create this, and let's create another one. Oh, it's important that, so you enable it, save it, go back, and let's create a third one, which will be like Sweden, 25%. That also applies to normal tax category products, and we go Sweden, enable it, and we say, okay, this is 25%. Now, where did these zones come from? It's also an important thing. When you want to specify a tax zone, you have to come to the zones in the admin panel, and then you can create a new zone. And let's say we want to add another tax zone, France. We go to shipping, and the scope of the zone is not shipping but taxation. So you create the taxation zone. Now, just because you typed France, it won't know that this is France. So now you have to come to the zone, and you have to add France as a country as a member. So you come here, select France, add it to the zone, and this way the engine will know that this taxation zone, whenever someone selects a billing address or a shipping address where the country is France, then it will be able to look this zone up. And then you go back to tax rates, and now let's create another one for France. It's 20% if I'm not mistaken for France. But forgive me, my French viewers, if it's not the correct VAT rate for France. I don't know this at the moment. So let's go with 2020, something like that, 2021, 22. Okay. All right. Now we have created another tax rate. So now we have 4 tax rates. Now you may ask, what happens if you don't have configured VAT rate for Netherlands and you want to sell to Netherlands? I would say you'd better be, because if there's no VAT rate for a specific country, then it means there will be no VAT calculated for that country. This is likely not what you want. Therefore, in your shop, you go ahead and create all the relevant tax rates which your business is requiring. Once you changed your tax engine, you can now proceed to your web shop, and I'm going to demonstrate how does the default EU tax engine configuration works. So let's say we add this beautiful product to the cart, and let's add 2 of them, so it comes 100 euros exactly. And if you continue to checkout, then we will see initially there's no VAT, and then if you change the country to Austria, which has 21% of Mehrwertsteuer, then this becomes filled. So the tax becomes filled. First, you have to select a country to be based on. And then if you change it to Germany, let's say, where the amount is, the VAT rate is 19%, then the amount of the tax changes. The final price of the product doesn't change, because this is the default configuration, that you have a final price settled, and only the included VAT changes as you change the country. So let's pick another country which has a higher VAT rate, like Sweden, 25%. Then it changes to 20 euros. So basically that's the default version of it. There is no change in the price. So in fact, at the end of the story, there is no difference between having no tax engine configured and then having the default VAT engine configured, only informational. It means that if you have the EU VAT engine configured, then all these taxes can be displayed on the checkout and also can be tracked with the order. So you have it stored as an information, but it doesn't affect or influence the total of the order. This might be required for regulation purposes, or you may want to, when you integrate with your billing software, then you may need to know this in advance. So you put the heavy lifting on the e-commerce side, and then you generate the invoice based on these VAT rates. So there can be many uses for this kind of EU VAT configuration, but long story short, there's no difference in the total at the final total of the order if you are having no tax configured and if you have the default EU VAT configured. Now, let me explain a little bit of a theory about fixed price versus varying prices. So, pretty common in retail that you have, and this is like a normal thing, that the product costs, the selling price of a product is something, right? Like in this example, it's 119 euros. And let's say you're an entity in Germany, and in your case, 19% of VAT is applicable to the product, which when you break it down, it means 100 euros of net, 19 euros of VAT, and the customer pays 119 euros. You have this scenario and you are selling to Sweden, then Vanilo in the background calculates the 25% of VAT, which is more, and then your net value is less, and for Austria it's also different. But at the end of the story, your final price, your selling price is the same. Now there's another variant, which is called the varying price. So let's say you come here and your selling price in Germany is 119 euros, which again contains 19 euros of euro because of the 19% VAT rate, and this is a 100 euros of net value. Now, with this approach, with the net-based approach, you say, okay, I don't care about the VAT rate of the given countries. I sell it for net 100 euros, and I will apply the given country's VAT rate. And then this will change the selling price of the product. So this is basically the difference between the two approaches. Now I'm going to show you how to configure Vanilo for net-based pricing. For this, you will need the multi-channel feature and the advanced pricing feature. So first of all, you have to create a price list. This price list is going to be, let's say, B2B net prices. And then you specify the currency, and you have to check this option here. Prices are net, excluding taxes. So you create the price list, and now you have to assign product prices to this price list. I'm going to add a single product here from the demo database. Here's this product. The default price is 50 euros. And for this, the net price for this product would be 40.02 euros. Now we create the price. Now, and create a channel if you don't have one. Let's say this is the B2B channel. And here we have to assign the price list. This is the important part. So this is how you will be binding this domain with this channel and this channel with the net price list. Which means, now if I add it to the cart, it's 40.02 euros. And if you go to checkout, and if I select Germany, then it is going to calculate the 19% VAT, which results in a 50 euros sales price. But let's say if you want to sell it to Sweden, then you will see the VAT rate is different. We keep using the net price, and the total will change to 52.53 euros. Let's go to Austria. And then we go with 50.84 euros, which is applicable for the 21% VAT rate. Let's choose another 21% country, let's say Romania. Then it's the very same, no difference, because the VAT rate in Romania and Austria is the same. So basically, this is how you can configure your VAT for net-based pricing.